going on, Jerome? So the Minnesota Vikings made some huge improvements along the offensive line this offseason. Bradbury, gone. Ed Ingram, gone. In Ryan Kelly and his buddy Spuds McKenzie, Will Fries, Tater. It'd be good. But the question is, who is going to start at left guard? So you got Darisaw, you got Kelly, you got Fries, you got Brian O'Neill. But what about that left guard spot? So you do have the incumbent in Blake Brandel. Mama, I'm hard to Brandel now. Now, 3-year deal last offseason. Coaching staff believes in him. Learning new position. First time he ever played left guard in a regular season game situation. Results weren't great. Well, they were mixed, right? But also his level of play did take a precipitous drop off once Darisaw was out. So it sort of is what it is. Now, could Brandel be solid with the rest of this offensive line in place? Sure. Certainly. But also the Vikings have options in the draft. Gray Zabel, Tate Ratledge, Booker, Jackson, etc. So, the Vikings could and should potentially look for interior offensive line in the draft. But what if I told you there's another name on this roster that Kevin O'Connell shouted out specifically on top of incumbent Blake Brandel? Ooh, I kind of love it, man. Enter one Michael. It puts the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again. Jurgens, second-year center guard out of the Wake Forest University. All right, here's what Kevin O'Connell had to say about Jurgens. A Vikes fan page. Kevin O'Connell said if they went out and played right meow, they would likely run a rotation of Blake Brandel and Michael Jurgens at left guard. O'Connell did mention that there is a long way to go. And still some options at that position, including the draft. But it is important right now. So the Vikings don't have a ton of draft capital, but as he said, if the Vikings took the field today, it would not be handed over directly to Blake Brandel. It would be a rotation of Michael Jurgens. Now, the rest of the rooster, like maybe they reduce Walter Rouse inside. It's something that they kicked about last year, but specifically shouting out Jurgens as a rotation with the incumbent starting left guard last year, Blake Brandel. It's kind of a big deal. All right. Also didn't even bring up Dalton Reisner, who is a free agent, as was on the squad last year, played the bulk of his career at left guard. So Jurgens, 7th-round pick out of Wake Forest. And I think that overall, he was a really solid pickup because had a lot of college experience. He's on the Van Wilder plan. Guard and center flexibility, good hands, high football IQ, a great communicator at the line, quick hands, good footwork as well. And also, there's something about just watching an offensive lineman where, some of them are deer in headlights. They're just like, whatever. But some of them are comfortable enough in their skill and awareness that they're always trying to find work. So if they're uncovered, they're looking out for ways they can help their brothers along the offensive line. And Jurgens is certainly one of them. Right, preseason last year, so you had 145 snaps over the 3 games, all at center. They got an extensive look at him. 72.1 PFF run blocking grade, 5 pressures allowed, 0 sacks. Now, it's a bit of a misnomer because 4 of the 5 pressures were against Cleveland, where Cleveland was playing a lot of their first and second team offensive linemen deep into the game, defensive linemen deep into the game. Also, in the first preseason game against the Raiders, 0 goose egg, D'Angelo Russell pressures allowed with JJ. So, hey, maybe this is the future battery. Who knows? Also, 6'5" looks good at center, man, beyond Pat Elflein. We're talking about, hey, could he be John Sullivan adjacent? I mean, Sully was 6th-round pick out of Notre Dame from back in the day. Doing good. Also, long story longer, Paul Allen, 9 to noon, specifically shouted out Michael Jurgens a couple months ago. Pro Persuasion. No doubt. Someone close to PA on the mic told him about Viking center Michael Jurgens being a starting center in the NFL one day. They told PA they didn't say when, and I didn't ask when, but that's at least as of last off season that they thought about Jurgens. And baby, make it smooth like lotion. I do think that Jurgens has a chance to be legit at this next level because coaching staff believes him. He looked good in limited run last year. Obviously didn't get into the mix as a rookie in the regular season, but preseason, pretty damn good. Also, training camp wise, he was certainly holding his own with the 3rd-team offensive line because Bradbury was starting, and remember, 2nd team was Diamond Dan Feeney, he of the great mullet. But now, at minimum, I think Jurgens is going to be your backup center for Ryan Kelly, as well as Ryan Kelly's health issues the last couple of years. That's an important role, and maybe Jurgens takes over that center spot in a couple of years. But hitting the ground running, it would be nice to add a potential starting offensive lineman 1st or 3rd round. But if it is a spot where Jurgens and Brandel and Rouse are really duking it out for that left guard spot, bring it. Absolutely bring him, man, because I think Jurgens is going to be really solid in this league, and I think that people are going to find out sooner rather than later. Although he did allow Will Rackard's kick against the Raiders to be blocked. I'll always hold that against him, even if he turns into an all-pro center. Like, hey, remember what? Nah. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. Vikings head coach Kevin McConnell specifically shouts out second-year guard center Michael Jurgens. Let us know your thoughts, comment section. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.